Welcome to Sports Lagniappe. I'm John Burke, coming to you here today from Ruffino's Restaurant. Well, our first segment today, once again, dealing with the 25th anniversary of the earthquake game, LSU's 7-6 win over Auburn in 1988. The quarterback of that team was Tom Hodson. Tom Hodson has the career records for LSU for touchdown passes, most yards, and most wins as an LSU quarterback. He sits down with our Derek Panamsky.
Does it seem like 25 years since the Auburn game?
Yes and no. It's been a long time. I've had to talk about it every year. Not had to talk about it. It's been a pleasure to talk about it and keep the story going. And my daughters are now freshmen at LSU, so yeah, I realize I'm getting older. So it does seem like it's been 25 years. I wish it wasn't so, but it is.
Is that game is a memory to a lot of people. You guys have a different perspective being on the field. What do you remember, not just about that play, but about the entire game?
Well, what I remember about the game is it was a kind of a must-win for us to stay in the conference race. It was early in the year, and I think we'd already lost to Florida, so we needed to win. Auburn had a good team. They were ranked 4th, I think, in the country, and a great defense. And I remember we didn't have much success on offense, and it was tough sledding the whole game. And finally, just being able to put one drive together at the end of the game was awesome for us. And our defense played so good to keep us in the game because I mean they held them to 2 field goals, 6 points. So we were able to make that last hard drive against a great defense.
As time has gone by, do you remember as much about that specific play, or is it one of these things where you kind of remember more what people tell you about that play?
No, I remember it. Northover, zip, 40X snag. I mean, I can still call it. Yeah, I still know the name of the play, and I can draw it up, and so it's pretty vivid in my mind. We ran it on 1st down and then came back on 4th down. It was a great go-to play for us back in those days, and we had a lot of success with it, and just lucky it worked that last time on 4th down.
Was that the best game you ever played in?
No.
And that's the point. People talk about that. It's a memorable game.
Yeah. What's
the best game you ever played in?
Well, that's probably the best game I ever played in was against Tennessee, and we lost at home. Just from a statistical standpoint, I put up some good numbers. But and then the Gator Bowl, I played pretty well in. I just kind of looking back on my career, I kind of pride myself on being consistent, and I think I pretty much was a flatliner player. Threw for about 230 a game. 25, 26 attempts. Was pretty much what I tried to do week in, week out. And so when I look back on some of my better games, I would have to say probably Tennessee, because the yardage and the touchdowns really stand out, or the Gator Bowl, because we moved the ball against a pretty good South Carolina defense.
Who's the best player you ever played with?
Best player, like pure football player, is probably Eric Anasek, just born to play football. Best athlete I ever played with was probably Harvey Williams at LSU. He was kind of before his day. He was 220, could run a 4.4, could jump, very athletic. So those two guys kind of stand out in my mind.
Who's the best guy you ever played against?
Cornelius Bennett was really good at Alabama. Derek Thomas was really good. He was an Alabama player. There's some offensive guys I didn't play against, but Emmitt Smith obviously was pretty spectacular at Florida. Those were some pretty good names.
What's your best memory playing at LSU?
Well, I always tell people it has nothing to do with football. It's just the guys I met and hanging out in Broussard Hall. We had just a great time and so many great stories and great memories, all of the fellowship, and it's like our own little fraternity in our own world. I know they don't live on campus anymore; they live off campus. But we had an awesome time there in Broussard Hall, and those are my biggest memories.
What's your favorite moment in sports? As throughout everything, I know you were a great high school basketball player, and what's your favorite moment in sports?
I like the NFL championship weekend. I think that's the best weekend in sports. Actually, the weekend before that and the AFC and NFC championship weekend. I think those are probably the two biggest weekends that I look forward to.
Who was the biggest, when you were a kid, who was your favorite athlete when you were a kid?
I like Pete Maravich, just because he shot a lot and made a lot and scored a lot of points, and was kind of a showman on the basketball court. I enjoyed watching him. Man, I liked so many guys: John Havlicek, Terry Bradshaw, Archie Manning, Lynn Swann. I was kind of a Steelers fan, so I got to meet Mean Joe Green when I was playing for the Dolphins, and he was an awesome guy. Not mean at all.
Right.
So those guys, 70s, early 80s, kind of, that was when I was a teenager and I guess most impressionable.
When you look back on it now, you obviously had an opportunity to be a basketball player, but to pursue the dream to play quarterback at LSU,
Mm-hmm.
that was the right call for you?
Yeah, I think so. If I always get asked the question, would you change anything? Would you do it over again? And I said, well, if you could let me have all the memories of all the football stuff, I would go back and try to play basketball again, just to see how far I would have gotten or to see what my career would have looked like. But I enjoyed playing basketball. Really, it was my favorite sport growing up. But football, I really took a liking to it really when I was a junior in high school. And we had some good teams in high school, and I grew up in LSU country, so it just worked out well, and I really have no regrets.
Were you superstitious at all?
No, not really. Obviously, I wear 13. So, my coach in high school, I broke my collarbone. I hurt my knee when I was a sophomore. I wore 16, and he came to me in the spring before my junior year, and he said, the last guy I coached wore 13. He was an all-state basketball football player, a good track guy, and he said, "Would you wear 13? We don't have it. I'll order it." So I said, "Yeah, sure. I'll switch." So he ordered 13, and that's how I ended up with the number, and it stuck with me for a while.
Let First Choice entertain you. Get a 42-inch flat screen HD TV, audio bar, and Blu-ray player with Wi-Fi for just $19.99 a week. Plus, get a $6 Redbox gift card as long as you rent. Come to any First Choice location for details or go to firstchoicerto.com.
Tell me about it. The kids need braces, I need a root canal, and Dad's old dentures are broken. That means 3 dental appointments all across town. Bobby Abear?
Mom, you need to call Louisiana Dental Center. They see kids and adults and have specialists at every location. They even have Friday and Saturday appointments.
That's great. I'll call him now. But who's gonna do the dishes?
Yeah, I know me and my big mouth.
The best tires on the road from brands like Michelin, BF Goodrich, and more. 6 months no interest, free oil changes, and the cleanest stores in the industry. All this at 4 convenient locations. We are Skid Marks Tires and Auto Service. Leave your mark.
Louisiana Dental Center, the preferred dental office of the New Orleans Saints and the LSU Tigers. Your dental home team.
For 20 years, First Choice has made your life better with our great selection of brand name furniture, electronics, and appliances at flexible payment plans to meet any budget. And at First Choice, there are no credit checks, no one's refused. Come into any First Choice location or shop online at firstchoicerto.com.
When tailgating for the LSU-Georgia game, you're going to want a nice, tasty beverage that goes with the theme of the Peach State. Here's Derek Panamsky.
Welcome back to our tailgate segment this week with Ryan Darensberg at Ruffino's Restaurant. Ryan, you're going to do a little something a little bit different for us this week. Not the chefs in here working on their kitchen magic. Going to do a little bar magic this week.
That's what, and people really love that bar magic, I'll tell you. First off, we're going to do the peach mint julep. Okay, so we're taking the aromatics of this mint, fresh mint. I would have to say that the most important thing is finding the freshest product you can have. I mean, so you're taking some fresh mint, taking fresh peaches. Georgia peaches, everybody knows about them. So we can start off with that. So you're going to take some fresh mint. You take it, you put it down in a thing. Now, normally I would say to go ahead and use a jigger, but down here at Ruffino's, we don't worry about jiggers. We actually just like to pour it straight from the bottle. So take a little bit of the peach tree, Okay, put a little bit in there so you get a little moistening, so it releases those aromatics. So when really the first layer that you're getting is smell. So when you bring this up to your mouth.
For the viewers at home, they can't get it, but for us, we get that nice mint smell, getting that heavy aromatics there. But certainly talking about releasing that, you can get it right away.
Exactly, that's what we do. Now adding, we'll start to build things. I'll add a little bit of ice just to start to build. Then we're going to take some peaches, fresh peaches. So those fresh peaches will go in there. Now it's not just when you talk about the smell. We're also talking about what it looks like. A lot of times with Chef Gino and Chef Peter talk about you see taste with your eyes first. And the same thing with your drink. When you're looking at this drink, is it sexy in the glass? I like to use sexy for food and drink.
Yeah, sure.
Now we're going to take approximately about 2 ounces of Maker's Mark. I really like Maker's Mark. Some people call it a girl whiskey because of its smoothness and its texture. But I'll take a girl whiskey any day of the week.
Well, but for this, it's the perfect complement, though, right? You want something smooth when you got the fruity flavor.
Exactly. So I'll finish off there. I'll add a little bit of Pichot bitters for a little bit of our local flavor there. Okay. A little bit there. I'm going to tumble it. Looks like we're a little light. Why not add more bourbon?
Why not? Give it a shot.
Tumble it back and forth. Top it off with a little more ice. There we go. Throw a little sprig in the top. Peach mint julep.
For 20 years, First Choice has made your life better with our great selection of brand name furniture, electronics, and appliances at flexible payment plans to meet any budget. And at First Choice, there are no credit checks, no one's refused. Come into any First Choice location or shop online at firstchoicerto.com.
Toothache.
Gingivitis.
Plaque.
Cavity.
Tartar.
Tooth decay?
Gum disease.
Abscess tooth.
What's that?
A filling,
Not a crown.
A bridge?
You mean I need a root canal?
Come on, man.
The only thing worse than hearing those words is hearing that your dentist can't see you today. Call Louisiana Dental Center, home of the same-day appointment.
The best tires on the road from brands like Michelin, BF Goodrich, and more. 6 months no interest, free oil changes, and the cleanest stores in the industry. All this at 4 convenient locations. We are Skid Marks Tires and Auto Service. Leave your mark.
Louisiana Dental Center, the preferred dental office of the New Orleans Saints and the LSU Tigers. Your dental home team.
Let First Choice entertain you. Get a 42-inch flat screen HD TV, audio bar, and Blu-ray player with Wi-Fi for just $19.99 a week. Plus, get a $6 Redbox gift card as long as you rent. Come to any First Choice location for details or go to firstchoicerto.com.
Feeding an entire football team is no easy task. Our Jessica Pomeroy has the story of the woman who's the mastermind behind the LSU players' diets.
One of the most important things an athlete can do is fuel their body the proper way. And LSU athletes are learning what it takes from the very beginning of the season.
Well, it really does start pretty much in the spring. And I mentioned education before, and really that is the key, just educating them on what is the best thing to eat before practice, during practice, after practice, during the weekends, on their off days, really to make sure that they're fueling their bodies.
Registered dietitian Jamie Meeks is in her second year at Louisiana State University, and over the past 2 years has worked closely with trainers and student athletes on the importance of nutrition.
Taking the nutrition part of it and then implementing these fun little things just to show that the athletes that nutrition doesn't have to be just boring, counting calories and things like that. It really can be fun and enjoyable as well.
One of the fun things Jamie started last year was these bags of trail mix. She actually developed them after an NCAA rule was implemented.
It pretty much started, NCAA has a rule where we can feed the teams 24 hours any day of the week, fruit, nuts, and bagels. And so figured, okay, fruit, nuts, let's make a trail mix. So I started buying nuts and dried fruit in bulk, and then I had a little too much fun with it, and now I have over 22 varieties. And I just kind of played with the different ingredients and made different trail mixes with little fun LSU-related names, and the athletes love them. They love them.
As you can see, there are pounds and pounds of trail mix. Over 150 pounds are made a week. The mix is ready and available any given day and greets you when you walk in the door to Jamie's office. And with her open door policy, she says she's never lonely.
Gosh, I'm never lonely up here. Never. I do have an open door policy. They're free to come in, whether grab a snack, whether they have any nutrition questions, or I tell them just come in and we can just chat about your day, chat about life, just to kind of get your mind off the stresses of your day.
Now, along with these bags of trail mix, Jamie does suggest certain types of food to athletes. But being in Louisiana, where we are known for our food, I wanted to know if there was a favorite among LSU athletes.
Of course, they love their fried foods, which I'm not one of those dietitians where, okay, you can never eat fried food ever again. Actually, when we cater food in, I'll do a fried catfish or some fried chicken tenders here, now and then. You don't want to deprive them of their favorite foods. But, doing the jambalaya and maybe some red beans and rice, which we did the other night, they really enjoy that because it kind of brings them back home.
And speaking of back home, Jamie is back home here at LSU. Not only is she in her second year as a trail mix hero, but she was also an LSU cheerleader from 2005 to 2009.
Tell me about it. The kids need braces, I need a root canal, and Dad's old dentures are broken. That means 3 dental appointments all across town. Bobby Abear?
Mom, you need to call Louisiana Dental Center. They see kids and adults and have specialists at every location. They even have Friday and Saturday appointments.
That's great. I'll call him now. But who's going to do the dishes?
Yeah, I know, me and my big mouth.
The best tires on the road from brands like Michelin, BF Goodrich, and more. 6 months no interest, free oil changes, and the cleanest stores in the industry. All this at 4 convenient locations. We are Skid Marks Tires and Auto Service. Leave your mark.
For 20 years, First Choice has made your life better with our great selection of brand name furniture, electronics, and appliances at flexible payment plans to meet any budget. And at First Choice, there are no credit checks, no one's refused. Come into any First Choice location or shop online at firstchoicerto.com.
Louisiana Dental Center, the preferred dental office of the New Orleans Saints and the LSU Tigers. Your dental home team.
The best tires on the road from brands like Michelin, BF Goodrich, and more. 6 months no interest, free oil changes, and the cleanest stores in the industry. All this at 4 convenient locations. We are Skid Marks Tires and Auto Service. Leave your mark.
He's a respected journalist who's been covering LSU football for a long, long time. You may recognize him more in his recliner, but I had a chance to catch up with Lee Feinswag.
Lee Feinswag has seen a lot of LSU football. What was the best game you ever covered?
The best game? Well, I thought the most fun game to watch might have been the first LSU championship when they beat Oklahoma down the Superdome. That was because there were just so many great dramatic plays. Justin Vincent's breakaway, Marcus Spears' interception. That was so cool. And the idea that I think anybody who'd lived here for a long time and for the people who followed LSU and it meant so much to, I don't think they ever thought they'd see a championship again in their lifetime. And so then they got 2 in a short period of time. That was pretty cool. When LSU upset Florida, I think it was 1997, Florida was number 1, except for the aftermath of that game. Almost got hit by a goalpost getting torn down. Note to self, don't get on the field after a big game. That was pretty exciting, of course, too. There were plays here and there, that you think of for those are the ones that come to mind right off.
How about the best player you ever covered?
Ooh, best player. Wow. For the one season where he sort of almost came out of nowhere, Jamarcus Russell's last season was pretty spectacular. I mean, that guy could throw a ball to the sidelines like 40 yards on a bullet. And I mean, I thought he was the real deal for sure. I still think he could be if he got the right chance, and he of course lost a lot of weight and was fit. Josh Reed, when he became a receiver, that was pretty spectacular. I know there's so many guys. That I think of all the guys who've gone on to the NFL and how wonderful. Best player, championship year. Michael, the receiver, Michael Clayton, thank you, from Baton Rouge, who went on to Tampa Bay and got hurt, and he was the best player on the best team.
Outside of Tiger Stadium, your favorite SEC venue?
Vanderbilt for basketball.
It's a little odd.
Yeah. I haven't been to all of them, but I like going to Alabama. I like going to Auburn. Those are always fun places. Been to Florida. Didn't necessarily enjoy that as much. I like the SEC towns. They're a lot of fun to go to for Friday night before the game. They're a lot of fun.
Finally, who was your favorite player as a kid? Doesn't have to be LSU.
Oh, Y.A. Tittle, Fran Tarkenton, New York Giants quarterbacks, New York Football Giants quarterbacks. A wide receiver they had named Homer Jones, who was a SWAC player, as a matter of fact. Those are the guys I loved when I was a kid.
Fast guy.
Yeah. And then the next question, if you ask me who's the best player of all time that I've ever seen, on offense, Jim Brown, and on defense, Lawrence Taylor.
Awesome. Thanks, Lee.
Nobody else comes close.
Appreciate it.
For 20 years, First Choice has made your life better with our great selection of brand name furniture, electronics, and appliances at flexible payment plans to meet any budget. And at First Choice, there are no credit checks, no one's refused. Come into any First Choice location or shop online at firstchoicerto.com.
Tell me about it. The kids need braces, I need a root canal, and Dad's old dentures are broken. That means 3 dental appointments all across town. Bobby Abear?
Mom, you need to call Louisiana Dental Center. They see kids and adults and have specialists at every location. They even have Friday and Saturday appointments.
That's great. I'll call him now. But who's going to do the dishes?
Yeah, I know. Me and my big mouth.
The best tires on the road from brands like Michelin, BF Goodrich, and more. 6 months no interest, free oil changes, and the cleanest stores in the industry. All this at 4 convenient locations. We are Skid Marks Tires and Auto Service. Leave your mark.
Toothache.
Gingivitis.
Plaque?
Cavity.
Tartar?
Tooth decay?
Gum disease.
Abscess tooth?
What's that?
A filling.
Not a crown.
A bridge?
You mean I need a root canal?
Come on, man.
The only thing worse than hearing those words is hearing that your dentist can't see you today. Call Louisiana Dental Center, home of the same-day appointment.
For 20 years, First Choice has made your life better with our great selection of brand name furniture, electronics, and appliances at flexible payment plans to meet any budget. And at First Choice, there are no credit checks, no one's refused. Come into any First Choice location or shop online at firstchoicerto.com.
This player missed much of last season with a knee injury, but he's back and running harder than ever. He's Alfred Blue.
Talk to me about your favorite football player of all time.
My favorite football player, I would say right now, is Adrian Peterson. Why is that? We're going through a similar knee. We had a similar knee injury, ACL, and just watching him come back off an ACL injury and do what he did last year is just a tremendous motivation for me.
Talk to me about playing games. Are you a gamer? And if you are, what kind of games are you playing?
I like to prank around, but I like to play Monopoly a lot too. I like to monopolize the board and make people pay money if they land on my property. But I like to prank around a lot, jokes on people and stuff like that.
Okay. What about your favorite music? What kind of music are you listening to get you hyped this season?
I would say I'm more of a slow, old R&B type of guy. I like to listen to R. Kelly a lot.
Will you listen to R. Kelly before a game?
Yeah.
Even his slow stuff?
Oh, yeah. It kind of calms me down, and you kind of want to be calm going into the game. You know, it just gets my mind, it slows it down and lets me focus on the task at hand.
And what about your favorite movie?
Bad Boys 2.
I love it. And last but not least, talk to me about your first time ever running through Tiger Stadium, running through the tunnel. What was that like?
Oh, man. I had butterflies. My heart was beating fast, and it just felt great. Just when I looked out there, I peeked out there, it was like, wow. And all those people sitting in the stands is just crazy, and it just felt good.
Louisiana Dental Center, the preferred dental office of the New Orleans Saints and the LSU Tigers. Your dental home team.
The best tires on the road from brands like Michelin, BF Goodrich, and more. 6 months no interest, free oil changes, and the cleanest stores in the industry. All this at 4 convenient locations. We are Skid Marks Tires and Auto Service. Leave your mark.
Favorite player? I have to go with Tom Brady.
And why is that?
Because he's in those sweet UGG commercials.
Because why? Say it again.
Because he's in those UGG commercials. That's why I like him.
Are you a gamer? Xbox, those type things?
You know, I try to stay off of that because, you know, it could really, really factor in your sleeping. But yes, I like to play games sometimes. Call of Duty a little bit, but that's it.
What music do you listen to get you hyped?
I like dubstep. I like a little bit of dubstep. I also like country and a mix of country, a mix of rap.
What's your go-to song right now?
Go-to song right now, Call Me Maybe. Yes.
Still, even after all that, do you have your own music video to Call Me Maybe?
No, do not. No.
Favorite movie?
Favorite movie, Step Brothers. Definitely.
Okay, and I know you have yet to do it, but what are your expectations of running out of the tunnel on LSU's field for the first time?
Oh, it should be fun. I mean, I'm going to have a lot of fun and plan on doing that every game. That if I get a chance to play, I'm going to have a lot of fun, you know, just do what I got to do and make the right decisions and have fun.
What's your most memorable thing about summer practices and preseason stuff so far?
Memorable. Nothing really clicks to my head, you know? Just very long practices. That's very memorable.
Hi, I'm John Burke. Join Derek Panamsky, Jessica Pomeroy, and myself for Sports Lagniappe every Sunday at 10:30 right here on WGMB Fox 44.